Being a man means to me being successful in life and succeeding higher than the expectation.
Men should act respectfully and never give up.
What I need from the men in my life is support, like and how to treat a woman, and how to be a gentleman, a young man, and what to do, the wrong and the right, what not to do.
Characteristics of a man are responsible, respectful, and wisdom.
Characteristics of a man is being strong mentally and physically.
Being a man to me means you have to take care of your kids, be responsible, and do what you have to do before you won't go in jail.
The things I need from a man in my life is to support me and tell me how you're supposed to act around women, and to make sure you care for the children, make sure you got food, put it on the table, and a roof over their heads.
Characteristics of a man are going to work, take care of your family, and achieving your goals in life.
I need support from the man in my life, support from my father so that I could be great.
Being a man means to be in charge most of the time, but sometimes you could just be there and know what you're doing and to stand up for yourself and always be a leader. Don't ever follow behind no one else.
Characteristics of a man to me is being respectful towards women, wise yet humble and strong.
Hello, my name is Neil Irvin. I'm the Executive Director here at Men Can Stop Rape. I've been with the organization starting as Director of Community Education and moving to Senior Director of Programs, and now as the Executive. This organization over the last 15 years has continued to evolve in our work in engaging men to find and use our strength, the prevention of men's violence against women and girls. And one of the signature ways in which we do that is through our Youth Development Department and our signature award-winning program, the Men of Strength Club. And the MOST Club is currently in 20 states across the country in over 100 locations with over 1,500 current and veteran members. What we're really excited about in our youth development work and what our Men of Strength Club has been accomplishing over these more than a decade has been our approach in primary prevention. And that our belief that working with young men and helping them to identify their own individual identity and their own purpose and deciding for themselves what type of men they're going to become, that needs to start at a very early age. We believe that this work is from conception throughout the lifespan, and so as we work in middle schools, high schools, and colleges, our Men of Strength Club is an opportunity for them to come together in a small group setting with an adult male facilitator to work on weekly exercises, interactive exercises in our 22-session curriculum, so that they can start to think about masculinity and messages that they get about what it is to be a real man, and then for themselves to create an alternative, one that is really about, as you hear the young people say, do you. It's really about them doing them, identifying for themselves who they're going to be as young men, how they can be young men in a way in which builds up people, provides leadership, supports empathy and sympathy, recognizes a high emotional intelligence, a high social intelligence, and to use your strength as a resource for the community and for others, not as using your strength to oppress or be violent.
The male culture here at our school, they really don't understand the idea of why you should respect women. And you know, we talk about that in the MOST Club. Hey, you know, I ask the question, hey, why should you respect women? You know, and they're like, oh, I don't know. And then I ask them, you know, the next question, well, if a young lady hits you, would you hit her back? Yeah, if she hits me, I'll hit her back. But that's culture. That's not something that, you know, they were taught that. That's not something that, you know, they woke up one morning and that's just how men are. They were taught that, they either saw it, you know, or they see it currently, etc. So we try to change that. And another story, you know, I was walking, when we first started, it was this, you know, this young man, he was, you know, he had a lot of emotion, you know, and he showed it. And, you know, he would always, you know, talk about, man, you know, if a young lady hits me, I'm gonna hit her back, or if she says this to me, and I'm gonna say it back, you know, etc. So it was like, you know, an eye for eye type thing. So as the program went on, you know, I saw his progress and I saw his change, but that was inside of the Most Club, inside of the room. But, you know, our job as facilitators is to make sure that they're taking what they're learning there and putting it in the classrooms, they're putting it in their communities, and they're living their lives like that. So one particular incident, I saw him walking down the hallway of City Springs, and a young lady called him out of his name, and my initial reaction was to go and grab him before he made a mistake and said something back. But on the other side of that, I said, let me see what he does, because he has to be able to practice it. Mr. Lewis can't always be there. So, you know, I sat back on the lockers and I watched him, and he didn't say anything, and, you know, he walked away, and I was very proud of him, and I was filled up with joy. And, you know, I brought him over and I said, look, man, I'm very proud of you. I said, that's what real men do. You know, real men can have enough self-discipline to be able to walk away from a situation that he knows that he doesn't want to put himself in, because it's going to have a negative effect.
We have young men understanding what we call the dominant story of masculinity. These stereotypical definitions that tell us as men the only way you can be strong is to either have success in the boardroom, success on athletic fields, or success with women. And that's the only way we as men are able to express our masculinity. And those stereotypical kinds of definitions really restrict and confine young men's ability to really do them, right? That they are told they must be a very rigid understanding and expression of masculinity. Moving towards the second phase of the program, we start exploring what we call the counter story of masculinity, which is a more healthier, socially and emotionally aware version of masculinity, an example of men being strong who aren't violent, and it starts preparing these young men to create that definition for themselves.
We had one session in Most Club. It was about young men, and we all talked about our fathers. So we took the time and we wrote letters to our fathers, and everybody had to read their letters out loud. And these are not just, you know, any kind of boys. Most of the boys here, a lot of teachers put them in the group because they feel like they have behavior problems. So as we read the letters out loud, one boy his name was Dante. He's actually named after his father. So as he read the letter, he immediately began to get in tears, and I realized why he was tearing up. He was tearing up because he was named after his father, but he hadn't seen his father since he was 3 years old. And he couldn't understand, why would you name me after you? And you're not taking the time to build a relationship with me, to see me play basketball, to see me play football. And after that, almost everybody in the group had a similar story, and they realized that we all share the same type of pain in the urban community. So a lot of boys got some tears out, and they really, you know, I can really see that it helped clear their mind and get that weight off of their shoulders that they probably been holding on for years, that they never got a chance to express with anyone.
Once that definition has been created for themselves, and that club has started to bond with that facilitator and one another, because the club's weekly meetings are a near-peer experience where they're getting regular feedback not only from the adult male in the room, but also from their male peers. And they're getting resources, and they're having a network, and so now they're really bonding. And so the club's design in that moment is able to turn to what its ultimate goal is. It's not just for the members of that club to gain their own personal awareness, but it's for them to take that awareness and expose and provide leadership and collaboration with others who weren't a part of the club, male and female. And so that the young men of those Men of Strength clubs then create what we call community strength projects. The Community Strength Project is a youth-led, youth-created community service project of their design that serves the community that they are a part of and invites others who weren't part of the weekly meetings to now start thinking about healthier forms of masculinity.
Most club. When the group first started, we used to have a lot of children and a lot of young men over talking one another, and respect is a main component of the program. So we had to teach them how to respect one's opinion, how to respect when one is talking, how to respect adults when they're talking. And from October when the program started to now, when one member has the floor, all the children stay quiet and listen to that young man. Not only that, when a young man in the most club is not doing what they're supposed to do, another member will intervene, and pull that member to the side and say, come on, man, most members don't act like this. You know, we have men that come in and take their time to work with us and teach us how to be young men and what to do and how to carry themselves productive in society. And you know, we can't waste their time. So I was surprised to hear the children in the most clubs speak in that manner. It made me feel good to know that I'm not just wasting my time, this program is not wasting its time, and the people that come in and talk to the children aren't wasting their time. So I was surprised to hear that from the children. So from now till then, you can see a complete change, and respect is a main component of the program. In how to interact with other children, peers, and adults.
And for us, that's the expression and the outcomes of what primary prevention is able to do. You plant that seed early, you nurture it, you support it, you guide it, and then ultimately you don't know what's going to happen. But when you start to see the benefits in the lives of these young men, when you start to hear them report what they need, and that we can be an example and an expression and a role model and a mentor to them, and also a resource to help them follow their passions, we think this is what really is going to ultimately prevent men's violence against women, because you are having a network, a mobilized group, and a community and a nation of young men who are focused on being strong without being violent and using that strength in the prevention of men's violence against women.
My name is Aaron Harris. I'm a 2011 graduate from Benjamin Banneker Academic High School in Northwest Washington, D.C., where I also participated in the Men of Strength Club there. I now study anthropology at St. John's University in Queens, New York.
My name is Ben. I've been a member of Most Club for 8 years since I was 14 years old. I was at Most Club at Kingsbury High School up on 14th Street, and I just recently graduated from Ithaca College, and now I work at Men Can Stop Rape here as a program assistant.
My name is Adam. I joined Most Club in 2008 and stayed with it all the way through graduation in 2012 at Benjamin Banneker Academic High School, and I'm still a member at George Washington University.